Venom hadn't eaten human brains for 2 days, and now his hunger was driving him almost to panic. Eddie suggested that he bring out the 2 chickens from home as an appetizer, but Venom refused without hesitation. "I can't. My loyal wife, my old companion, is my best friend." Eddie was surprised to see that this unflinching alien, who could devour humans without batting an eyelid, had come to treat his food like a pet. Yet Venom never played by the rules. It was as if he also longed to hit the beach, to feel the wind tousling his hair and the sand under his feet. Eddie could only shake his head in disbelief. Where on earth would Venom get his hair? Since teaming up with Eddie, Venom's meals had been limited to chicken and chocolate, and he had grown tired of it. Had he not promised Eddie never to eat human brains again, he would have long since run off to flaunt his independence. Besides, every morning, Venom prepared breakfast for Eddie, while Eddie simply sat down at the table. And let's be honest, Venom's cooking was pretty good. This household simply couldn't function without him. He even delivered the mail downstairs. Cletus had been killing since childhood. He not only pushed his own grandmother down the stairs, but also hurled a hairdryer into his mother's bathtub. Later, he was sent to a reform school by his father, where he met his girlfriend Bonnie. After Bonnie was committed to a mental institution, Eddie's reporting landed Cletus in prison, and he is scheduled for execution tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eddie decided to interrogate Venom. "Your son, damn it! No, no, no! Don't you dare talk about..." As a killer, he knew all too well the taste of human blood. And what he had just tasted from Eddie was definitely not human blood. Still, he swallowed it in one gulp, setting events on an uncontrollable course. Unaware of the full extent of the situation, Eddie continued arguing with Venom. He believed Venom had acted too rashly. If anyone found out that they were a symbiotic pair, they would be captured and stuck. Even the headless corpse in the neighborhood might be frustrated. Eddie shouted at Venom, "You think you're protecting me? Protecting what? You're completely useless. Why don't you get a real job? Maybe cleaning toilets?" Hurt by Eddie's words, Venom struck Eddie right on the nose. Not to be outdone, Eddie retaliated by seizing Venom's knife, and soon the 2 former friends were locked in a full-blown... But how could a mere human possibly best an... Finding himself losing ground, Eddie resorted to threatening Venom's dearest possession. "Smash Sonny from..." Seeing this, Venom flung Eddie's most expensive television out the window. That was the last straw. Eddie landed a punch that shattered one of Venom's teeth, leaving him deeply... In his hurt pride, Venom decided to leave. But before departing, he vowed that Eddie would never forget. He smashed Eddie's beloved motorcycle into pieces, and even left an international hand gesture as his parting goodbye. Eddie thought he could finally relish some solitude, yet a sudden breaking news bulletin on TV made him The crisis had escalated. A prison break had occurred an hour earlier, and Cletus was moments away from his execution. As the lethal injection coursed through his veins, Cletus was about to meet his end when the drug inexplicably began to... In the next moment, his eyes flared open, and red tendrils emerged from it. This newfound power was overwhelming. It obliterated the execution chamber in one fell. After the festivities, Venom schemed. Far from home, he could only confide in Mrs. Chen, one of the few people who knew. The 2 had become close friends, and Venom had even learned Chinese. "You are truly wonderful," she said, to Mrs. Chen's house, hoping to find clues about Venom's. But to her surprise, Mrs. Chen was unusually. This behavior confirmed, "Oh, take care, bastard." Together, they proceeded to the police station and up Eddie. The reunited duo's teamwork quickly alerted the detective, who sped to Eddie's house with the intent to arrest them, only to cross paths with Cletus, who was also on duty. Cletus opened Eddie. Bonnie caught his ex instead, Eddie out. Before departing, she even had Dan deliver the wedding to Eddie. Dan slot. A spectacular fight erupted. Soon, however, Massacre wrested control, pinning Venom against a wall. During a brief lull, he warned Bonnie not to speak carelessly. Taking advantage of the distraction, the detective climbed an elevator while Bonnie chased after him. By the time the detective reached the top, she launched a surprise attack from behind, forcefully blinding his left eye. Meanwhile, Massacre attempted to rile up Venom by eating the priest's brain right before his eyes, a move that incited Venom's envy. In a fit of feet him away. At that moment, Dan arrived to help. Knowing that the only effective means to defeat these creatures was a critical moment, Venom clutched Massacre's throat. But just as the clock struck midnight, an untimely chime forced both Venom and Massacre to retreat into their symbiotic host. When the chime subsided, the 2 aliens emerged and resumed their fierce battle, continuously switching between human and alien forms as they fought. In his human form, Cletus's fighting prowess was even more intense. He smothered Eddie with a piece of plastic wrap, nearly causing him to suffocate, until Venom burst in to save him. After a climb to the top floor, halfway up, gasping for breath, he pressed on for the sake of his ex. Meanwhile, Massacre had already opened his gory maw wide. Before Venom could react, he leaped, thrusting a steel pipe into Massacre's head, and quickly pulled his ex-girlfriend to safety. Yet Massacre acted as though nothing had happened, slapping both of them away. With a fierce grip, Venom held his ex-girlfriend close, refusing to let go, even as pain brought tears to his eye. Only when he was sure she had safely reached the ground did he relent.